Last April, I reviewed the K70 RGB TKL from Corsair's Champion series with that crazy Axon 8000Hz hyper polling rate, and it's widely popular among competitive players like Tapson from Big Clan. But a lot of us who both game and work off our same PCs are missing something crucial: the numpad. Don't have numpad, how do I count money? Today, we are reviewing the brand new Corsair K70 Pro RGB that has a full-size layout and comes packed with everything that the TKL version has and more. So is it worth getting this over older models? And what makes it stand out from competing products? Well, let's get typing. Wow, I feel so typecasted. Hi. Full disclaimer, this Corsair K70 RGB Pro was sent over by Corsair for the review, but as usual, we do reserve our right to an unbiased opinion, and Corsair has zero control over what I'm about to say. Of course lah, I'm the bangsa one, how can they control me? Anyways, if you're a gaming keyboard enthusiast, then you should be pretty familiar with Corsair's widely popular K70 series that has been out since, I think, 2013. After the initial launch, they had also released a Mark II as well as a low-profile version, and most recently a TKL version last April, which we had reviewed. So check it out. So the Pro in K70 RGB Pro refers to professional and dedicated video game players. Why? Because pro gamers are making stacks and they need the numpad to count their money and do their taxes lah. Abu then? And jokes aside, I personally am one of those who prefer a full-size keyboard for my workstation at the office or the studio where I create content and game on from time to time. So I'm pretty excited to see an updated K70 because I know most of you guys won't be splurging $250 or 1,000 ringgit for a K100 that I'm currently rocking. But then what's the difference between this K70 RGB Pro versus previous models? Well, let's take a closer look. The K70 RGB Pro is priced at $169, wow, $99 or 689 ringgit as when the Mark II was first launched in June 2018. Good to know that some tech products didn't skyrocket in price during these difficult times. Very good, Corsair! We have a black anodized aluminum frame at the front with a brushed finish with a plastic bottom and very subtle branding, as you can see. Again, I'm loving this new design direction that Corsair is taking. Just let the product speak for itself. You don't need to shove branding down our throats, other brands, okay? So kudos, Corsair. In terms of keycaps, we get the usual Corsair double-shot PVT keycaps that are textured and very durable. It also has this new font that I'm a big fan of, which is less gamery, but still very legible, even without RGB on. In terms of options for key switches, of course we have the Cherry MX Brown, Red, Blue, Speed and Silent. What we have in the studio today are the Cherry MX Red and Blue variants. At the bottom, you get 4 large rubber feet, the top pair being height adjustable for 2 extra steps. Also, you get cable channels that are so snug that squeezing in and taking out the cable a few times might actually cause the braiding to fray. Overall, the build quality feels really solid and premium. Zero flex as expected. Even the plastic bottom feels very rigid. See? For you RGB Tom Yum shop lovers, we have Perky RGB. Even the indicators have been upgraded to RGB this time, walao! The TKL version's indicators are only white LED, so basic. In the box, we also get this magnetic detachable wrist rest that looks very sleek and feels pretty rigid with 6 rubber feet at the bottom to help it stay in place when you are nerd raging. Very nice, I also like this texture. Though, funny enough, this is the first K70 that does not come with a keycap puller or custom keys for your FPS and MOBA. Why? I don't know, you ask Corsair. In terms of dimensions, this keyboard is 444 millimeters across, 166 millimeters wide, and 40 millimeters thick. It is also only 1.15 kilogram. In terms of connectivity, what we have is a detachable USB Type-C to Type-A cable that is braided, but to be honest, I'm not a big fan. It's the same one as the one you get with the TKL version. Pretty stiff and probably will kink and doesn't like to stay flat, which actually annoys the OCD in me. It might annoy the OCD in you too. Other than the standard full-size layout keys, we also have useful function keys at the top left for profile switch and also brightness and Windows lock. Media keys are located at the top right with a mute button and volume scroll wheel on top. I personally use the media keys and the scroll wheel a lot since I'm often watching tutorials on Netflix when editing videos or even gaming. Of course, we also have different function key combos that you can flip on the keyboard itself. Again, read yourself lah. At the back, once again, you'll find the tournament switch. When toggled, all the RGB will reset to the static mode and all custom actions and macros will be disabled. From the bedroom to the hall in one switch, more convenient and adaptable than your girlfriend, boyfriend, or just friend. Gaming experience is again very responsive as expected. The same observations can be made about this full-size version, the Pro version, as I did when I first reviewed the TKL version. The 8000Hz hyper polling rate and 4000Hz key scan is not as noticeable of an upgrade for gaming versus when I tried it on the mouse, especially when it comes to FPS titles. However, if you're a high-level player on MOBAs like Dota 2, which can hit 300 to 400 actions per minute, or real-time strategy games like StarCraft 2, which can hit up to 800 actions per minute, then you probably will feel the improvement. As far as the 8000Hz impacting CPU usage, we've only seen evidence of that on lower end CPUs. If you're rocking a 12th Gen i5 or 5000 series Ryzen 5 or 7 and up, you should be fine, 7 up. Also, if you're a really fast typist that averages 75 words per minute and up to around 375 characters per minute, then you'll be able to tell the difference. For instance, I've improved from an average of 60 words per minute when I first reviewed the TKL version to about 71 words per minute right now, and things feel quite a bit smoother when I flip on 8000Hz hyper polling rate. On top of that, thanks to this rigid construction, the typing experience actually feels really nice, and the stabilizers also don't rattle too much, so pretty good. Here's a sound test of the Cherry MX blue and red switches on the K70 RGB Pro for your reference. To update your iCUE software to the newest version, make sure that you toggle off the tournament switch on your K70 RGB Pro. In iCUE, for this keyboard, you can customize the key assignments, lighting effects, onboard hardware settings of those two mentioned when iCUE is not being used, performance, which lets you choose which other keys you want to lock when hitting the Windows lock button, and finally, device settings where you can change the polling rate to 8000Hz or 1000, which is the default, as well as a bunch of other useful options. To recap, here are the pros, mares and cons of the K70 RGB Pro. I give the CORSAIR K70 RGB Pro a very work hard, play hard, full size, #cheap buy 8 out of 10. To be honest, I quite like the K70 RGB Pro. It's a solid mid-level gaming keyboard that I'd be happy to use both in the office and in my gaming room. The awesome build quality at this price, also with the durable PVT keycaps and customizable macros, as well as crazy amount of RGB options, make this a really easy recommendation for people who want to upgrade from their crappy entry-level mechanical keyboard. Or if you're still using membrane, that I'm set for you lah. Though I missed the pass-through, something that I missed a little less on the TL version, I would still rather have a detachable cable, because 50% of the time when I had to replace a keyboard, it has something to do with the cable either fraying because it irks me, or downright just kinking or breaking. So having the option to just swap out the cable or replace it with a higher quality aftermarket one is ideal. Also, with all the newer wireless mice launching these few years, I found myself using the pass-through a lot less lately. But if they could squeeze in a USB 3.2 Gen 2 interface along with the pass-through, then I would really appreciate it, because that would be perfect for plugging in a fast SD card reader, for instance. And that's everything for today's video. If you thought this video is helpful, don't forget to like and share. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to see more content like this. Also don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well as TikTok to see more shenanigans from the Mob House crew and also to join our giveaways. Finally, don't forget to leave a comment down below because I like to talk to you guys. As you can see, I talk non-stop one, and I'll try to reply to you either in the comment section below or in our comment section, the verbal one after this. Comments lah. Today's comment section will be about the 15 iPad Pro M1 accessories video that I did, okay? Starting with you beautiful people on YouTube. First question is from Unique Twins. Can you please do another giveaway for a gaming computer because I really need it? Also, I've been subscribed to you in a long time and you like my accent. From time to time, we'll do giveaway lah, maybe laptop and stuff like that. Now, gaming PC stuff will be hard because everything is shortage and the brands aren't really keen to, give away stuff when there's this shortage. So there's that. Maybe when things get more stable lah, bro. Stitch Lee noticed my wonderful G-Shock GM2100. Says Shane's a man of culture. Of course I am, bro. Today got another one, Seiko, with my Marine National strap. Vitic says, great video, thanks mate. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can comment more every time we got new content so I can chat with you some more. Time to give you some face on Facebook. Kai Hong says that he got the Logitech Combo Touch instead and his thing is pretty good considering the price. Actually, it's pretty good, to be honest. I just like the Apple version for two reasons. One, there's no kickstand so you can get it on your lap very easily and comfortable and use it. Also, I feel that the keyboard is slightly... No, it's actually about the same, but the touchpad is better. Neta Howard says that I just got the iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard. This video helps a lot considering the brand is very picky with its accessories. As yes, especially when it comes with third-party ones, like the cable, we tested a few and didn't work, but this one definitely works. So there's that. I also tested a few dodgy ones that I had sitting around, and those didn't work as well. It wouldn't charge at all, and I didn't know why. Now Fal Suhaimi, what a cool name, he says. The OtterBox wall charger looks very nice, as well as the power bank. The length of the cable really shocked me. It's actually really long and it's quite very solid. Even if it's taller than you. Need to get some tips from it, how to increase my height. Every day just hang there lah, so you can be a hangman. And that's all for today, so leave more comments so I can comment back on your comment and you can be the greatest featured commenter on the internet.